just wanna be your Sigma. What is love? Iced caramel latte with 1/3 oat milk, 1/3 coconut milk, 1/3 pistachio milk, 3 pumps of raspberry sugar, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and a dash of nutmeg for Val, the barista interrupted. That's what I call love. Yum! Val's parents needed her back at their own cafe ASAP, since they needed her to cover the register after an employee quit on them out of nowhere. She sighed in defeat. Taking a shortcut through the neighborhood park to get to her parents' cafe faster, Val nearly gagged at the renovations they had done to the park on behalf of Valentine's Day. Spoiler alert, Val, aka Valentine, named after Valentine's Day, was not a fan of love in any way, shape, or form. She had been hurt way too deeply, and it all served as a reminder of her pain. Val felt as if she would burst into tears if she remained in this romantic park any longer, so she decided to run the rest of the way out. Arriving at the scene of Valentine's Day crime, aka her parents' cafe, Val was not feeling the vibe. Ew, it's like Cupid threw up in here. In this world, there are all kinds of lovers, like high school sweethearts and college flings. But Val's parents are on a whole other level. They've practically been inseparable since birth. Val decided to act defensive and protect her feelings, acting disgusted by any sign of love. Val did not always hate love. She was deeply in love with her virtual boyfriend, whom she met on the Frever app. Val would chat with him till sunrise, pouring every ounce of love from her heart straight into her Frever direct messages. Val's life had a brighter hue on the days he texted her back, until one day, he stopped replying. Heartbroken, Val wondered what went wrong. Did she say something to upset him? After weeks of silence, Val started to think that perhaps the relationship had simply run its course, and there was nothing else she could do. She had opened her entire heart and soul to this boy, only to be ghosted. He had ditched her for some hot LA chick who was already forever famous. Together, they grew a following of almost 18 million followers, becoming the most watched forever viral couple. Love? Ugh, what's the point? Val said. Angie was Val's one and only friend, and they had known each other since they were in diapers. If you looked up lover girl images, pictures of Angie would be plastered all over the damn page, with a smile that shined for miles, hair that was never out of place, and a fashion sense she adopted from all the love interests of her favorite rom-coms. Angie was also the only person to know about Val's ex-lover, who totally ditched her after getting forever famous. In order to keep Angie from blabbing the secret to everyone else, Val had agreed to watch rom-coms with her once a week, no matter how much she hated those movies. I promise I'm safe, and not being blackmailed, and most certainly not being held against my will here. If I needed help, I would blink twice. Avi, Val said as she blinked twice. What was that? Angie asked, unable to hear Val over the TV. In the wise words of Eminem, Val snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Val's eyes widened as she scrambled to come up with a lie before saying, Oh, nothing. I was just practicing my French. Oui? Okay, slay. We love a bilingual queen, Angie replied. Angie and Val loved having sleepovers every weekend and binge-watching movies. These girls were polar opposites, but this is what made their friendship one of a kind. Gross. That actor kind of looks like Jeff, the new boy my parents hired yesterday. He flirts like him too, Val said. Angie was absolutely thrilled for Val, as Jeff, the popular guy at their school, rarely showed interest in anyone. She eagerly turned to Val, always ready for some juicy gossip, and pleaded with her to spill the tea. Val began telling Angie the flirt gossip from a couple days back. Girl, I had literally refused to work another shift at that cafe. I could not stand looking at those stupid decorations for more than 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. So then tell me why I see my replacement walk in the next day and it's no other than Jeff. I was legit about to die from cringe. Anyway, he walks in looking like a store-brand version of Justin Bieber, with the cool hair, bad boy rings, and of course, one dangly earring. I'm a pop star, not a doctor. Shawty with the long text, So Jeff is already a barista for another cafe owned by some guy my parents are friends with, and he happened to need the extra cash, so he was more than happy to take the job. Oh, and you know how my parents run the cafe like total weirdos, right? Well, his barista skills from the other cafe are totally different to how my parents make drinks at their cafe. So guess who got stuck training him? Me. Ugh. He wouldn't stop staring at me all weird. It looked like he was super constipated or needed new glasses. Girl, and get this. He then turns to me and goes, "What's your favorite drink? I'll prove to you I have what it takes to run the show. Then you can be free to leave and do whatever it is cute girls like you do." I literally almost hurt my eyeballs the way I rolled my eyes. Such an ick. I told him my usual iced caramel latte with 1/3 oat milk, 1/3 coconut milk, 1/3 pistachio milk, 3 pumps of raspberry sugar, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and a dash of nutmeg. You should have seen the look on his face. I was legit shook, Ange. He was making my order perfectly on the first try, like what? He then turns to me and goes, "I like a girl who knows exactly what she wants." With his soft Bieber voice. Why is bro acting like that? Speaking of icks, when he presented me the drink, he winked at me and said, "For my future bae." Bae? I'm not your bae. Just like my forever ex used to say. I stood there unable to respond or move. I looked like those mannequins from Target. It was so embarrassing. You know what bae meant to me, Ange? I was before anyone else. When I took a sip of the drink, what I wanted to say was, "This is the best latte I've ever had." But because I was so upset at being called bae, all the emotions were coming up again. So I took it out on him and said, "Meh, you should stick to what you know. Being a heartbreaking jerk till you're old, ugly, and alone." I know that was wrong, but once I said that, I couldn't take it back. I was too prideful to apologize, so I just left. But he looked so hurt, Ange. It was a cringe fest from start to finish. What she wanted to say was, "This is like watching a rom-com in real time. Oh my god, oh my god." But because her duty as a best friend was to give a reality check when needed, she instead said, "Val, you low-key have to go apologize to him. That was not like you at all." As Angie went on about how Val was passing up the opportunity of a lifetime and how any other girl would die to be in her spot, Val sat with the guilt of what she had become after being ghosted. She hardly recognized herself anymore. Is this really the type of person she wanted to be for the rest of her life? The next day at school, Angie and Val looked around the hallways for Jeff like undercover spies. Angie is what one would call a Jexpert. Besides rom-coms, Angie's obsession was knowing everything about all the cute boys at school. And as a Jexpert, Angie would of course know his whereabouts at any given moment, which today was finally information she could put to use to help Val apologize to Jeff. Okay, a wild Jeff will appear in 3, 2, 1. Spotting him coming down the hallway, right on schedule, Angie called Jeff over. As Jeff walked over to them, Angie just decided to vanish, leaving Val alone with Jeff. Given their last conversation, Val stared awkwardly at Jeff, who appeared hurt. Val struggled to show her soft side and apologized to Jeff. "Hey, listen," they began at the same time. Val looked down at her feet sheepishly, hoping for Jeff to continue. Jeff began his apology by saying, "I shouldn't have been so forward or flirted at all. Times are tough for me, and I'm very thankful your parents have given me a job. The least I can do to thank them is respect their daughter." As much as she wanted to hate Jeff to protect her own heart, he was making it really difficult. Making eye contact with him seemed impossible for Val. How had she let herself go and become so cold? She struggled to speak, but eventually returned the apology. She stared at him, really analyzing this time. Maybe he wasn't the heartbreaking jerk everyone made him out to be. The apology they both shared at school helped Val feel comfortable around Jeff whenever she ran into him. Over time, those quick interactions they shared turned into small talks, which then turned into longer conversations about anything and everything. His training was supposed to be a one-and-done deal, but Val felt a familiar comfort when being around him, so she kept the training going. Whether they were being silly and goofy or borderline flirting, Val's time at the cafe always flew by with Jeff being there. She even began to enjoy seeing those awful Valentine's Day decorations she had once hated, since she was starting to develop a huge crush on Jeff. After her shift with Jeff was over, Val called Angie to hang out. Val high-key needed a distraction from all these feelings she was beginning to have for Jeff. Do I have a booger or something? What are you looking at, weirdo?" Val said. Angie knew that look. She had seen it a million times in her fave rom-coms. "You're in love," Angie teased. Instinctively, Val denied it, but her face said it all as she kept on blushing. Angie's eyes lit up as she thought of the best idea for Val. Standing as tall as can be, Angie presented to Val her new genius plan. Operation Get Val the Man. Step 1. Get Val's parents to fake an emergency, asking Jeff to come in and cover the register. Step 2. Val goes over to the cafe to also cover the register. Step 3. Val tells Jeff she loves him. Step 4. Val asks Jeff on a date. Excited about Angie's plan, Val got up to call her parents and began step 1. Val's parents loved love, so opening up to them about her plan to tell Jeff she loves him would be enough to convince him to help. Her heart hadn't felt this light in ages. After Angie's pep talk, Val truly felt she had finally made a breakthrough. Making her way to her parents' cafe to meet Jeff and enact step 2 of Angie's master plan, Val felt